Hi guys, Tabinas here. So, if you like the aesthetic of Studio Ghibli movies, then this video is perfect for you because I'm going to show you how you can recreate some of the scenes of Studio Ghibli. So this time I'm going to paint one of Ghibli studio scenes which a lot of people have seen, like one that's famous is the home of the movie Kiki Delivery. Okay, for the first step is that you're gonna have to get the tools and materials you need. And first material you need is a brushes. Here I'm using a few brushes. There's a square brush and also a round brush with a medium and small size. Most importantly, you must to have a detail brush like this to make a small details. And the next material to prepare is a canvas. Here I use a canvas panels with a size of 10 times 12 that I've been buying for a long time. And maybe you can use another media like acrylic pad, or you may also use a paper. But you must to use a paper with a minimum thickness of 300 GSM. And the thicker the paper is better because we use paint to paint it. And the last one is prepare the paint. Here I use a gouache paint from Himi. So guys, without further ado, let's go to the painting. Now, I really go into painting without at least a rough sketch of what I'm gonna be doing. And of course, you can be spontaneous with a gouache and go straight with a brush, but I like to use a pencil first. From me, tips for making a sketch is don't press the pencil too hard, because if you make a thick stretch, it will be difficult to remove and make your drawing dirty if you paint it. So you guys have to be careful if you don't want your drawing to be dirty, right? Because the sketch is done, so right now I want to move to the coloring station. So here I'm wearing a Himi gouache paint, but if you don't have a gouache paint, you can use acrylic paint as well. And my recommendation for a nice and inexpensive acrylic paint is you can use acrylic paint from Mary's. In fact, gouache paint and acrylic paint are almost the same. They can be used on a paper or canvas, and the colors are also shrinking and solid. But acrylic paint is waterproof while a gouache paint is not. So if gouache paint is dry, it can become active again if you add a water. And another difference between these two paints is the final result. If gouache will be matte, while acrylic paint will be glossy. So right now, let's start coloring the sketch. First, I will start by coloring the sky using blue. So you just need to color the sky by blocking it with one color all over the sky. And then you have to make a cloud using a white paint. With just tap your brush randomly, but you have to shape like performing a bunch of clouds. Actually, if you want to paint a cloud or tree, you're basically just dabbing your paintbrush with the color on the paper and then try to create brushstroke that looks like chick leaf, but they're going to be in the background and you still want to give an impression of like there's some brush happening. I don't know how to explain it. But one thing to remember when you're painting a whole landscape, you're gonna have a bushes. And if you're painting a bushes like in the far distance, they are gonna get lighter and more the blurry side. So you have to layer the colors by means of the part that is not exposed to light using a darker colors, while the part that is exposed to light use a lighter colors. Like you just spill the paint, but you have remembered to wait until the previous layer to dry. So now I'm making the details for inside the windows, and you guys have to use a detail brush to make details, and just put a little bit dark of blue and green, and also I use white colors for the highlights. As I said before, after if you guys make the background, you have to layers the color with a lighter color or dark colors, but you must pay attention to the direction of the lights come from. And you can layer the colors in 3 or 4 layers, but don't overdo it just until it looks real enough. And if you guys still confused, you can learn it on some platforms like Pinterest or TikToks. There's a lot of tutorials that teach you step by step how to draw bushes, trees, or clouds, or anything else, so you guys have to check it out. The next step is block the bottom using a bigger brush and then make the grass. Start by making the background first, and you have to layering the top with a lighter color according to the direction of the light to make a bushes and dimensions. And add a white paint for make your paintings look more pop-up. You guys, don't forget to paint the stone. It's the same way when you paint the grass, just by looking at which part are exposed to light and which part are not. And color the parts that not exposed to light with a darker color. And you guys can add a few random strokes or dots to make your painting looks more real and rich. All the time, just remember to enjoy the process and have fun with the colors. And finally, for the final step, you can get a detail brush to add more detail for the top layer, and again to remember where the light is hitting, and that's what you will be dabbing it. Just put it sparsely, don't put it everywhere, since you might cover the first layer, which is what we want to have a baking trick to show the shadows and kind of create a 3D effect. We're finally done, and I hope that you guys enjoy watching my paint. And yeah, so this is the result.